everyone, and welcome to this week's video. We are talking about 5 steps that you can use to kill some leftover kits or collections that you have in your stash. So being as it is January and most people are feeling like they need to work through things that they've got sitting in their stash and whatnot, and I am one of them for sure. So I decided that I'd pull out all my kits for 2018 and discovered that I had more than I thought. So step 1 is to assess what you have. So what I did was I pulled them all out, put them on my bed because that was the biggest surface in my craft room, and I labelled them so that we could have this kind of video going so that I knew which month was which. I do have apparently 5 really useful boxes. I thought I only had 3 or 4, but I also have some stored in the 12 by 12 plastic bags as well. So just having a look, these 2 kits, May and June of 2018, are so big, there's lots still in there, and I'm going to sort them together. So step 2 is sort the like and like together. So how I started this process was, I figured if I put 2 kits together that were similar in terms of colours and whatnot, that they would go together and it'd make it feel less overwhelming in terms of having 6 kits from a whole year. Now I have 1 larger kit by combining 2 of them. So then I decided that I would sort like and like together in terms of the embellishment. So pretty much what I do when I get my kit originally anyway, which is made easier because these are in the useful boxes. So what I've done is I've got these little storage containers here. I think they're makeup ones actually, or for the bathroom or whatnot. And I'm just sorting the kits out. So I've put in the labels together, all the ephemera pieces, die cuts with words together, normal ephemera die cut pieces. I've got wood veneer, and then I have a part for stickers. And then this last little section will be for all those other 3D embellishment goodies and whatnot, paper clips and resin flowers and sequins, some bit of thread, one of those charm creations. So I've got washi sitting down the bottom here and some enamel dots that I've pulled out because they were in the kit, and I'm just going through. So this is a thicker that's come apart from I haven't come apart, I've cut it apart. I'm putting words together, and what my aim is from going from 2 really useful boxes to having 1 kind of kit put together nicely with these 2 embellishment boxes and then the paper and goodies. And then my plan is, if I work through the rest of the steps, so that I have nothing or next to nothing left from these 2 kits. Then I can move on to the other kits in my stash from 2018. So going through, you can see I was really excited that the tray from the first really useful box was now empty, and now I'm working on the second one. Same deal, all the die cuts together, all the labels together, all the words together. This is how I sort my kits anyway, because I figure it actually works really well for me to go, okay, yep, I need some words here. Let me look for a word that suits, or I need an icon kind of die cut. Let me do that. And a wood veneer, whatever. So you can see now that it is, well, you can kind of see. Sorry, it's out of screen a little, but I had to fit a lot in to the screenshot. You can see that there is a whole pile of embellishments, and now I've put all the paper together in 1 box. So I've emptied 2 of the top trays, 1 of the bottom trays, and we are left with this. Now we had the Katie Mixed Media stencils, every one of them. We got everyone. That is great talking, Lauren. Every month we got a new one. So I put that together in my little stencil folder. We got those in resin pieces that have got the months on it. I put that up the top in a container on my desk so that they're together. Now I'm going through just generally in what's in my box. These are cut aparts. I like them, except for that IM one, but I will use the back, and I'm just making sure that I cut them down so that they're not big overwhelming pieces sitting in the pile of paper. It is more a case of having some Project Life cards to use when I'm ready. I discovered I didn't even use those stickers, and they are such a nice colour. I used some of these, but I still have plenty left. And just pulling out and going through. So we've got bits of papers and stuff that we don't need anymore. More stickers because we got one of those Simple Stories packs, and they have lots of stickers. We've got some doilies and lots of little bits and pieces of scrap paper. I've even got layouts in these boxes. I didn't even realise that. Obviously I worked on the boxes with the kits and then I just put them straight in there when I packed away for some reason, instead of putting them where I normally do. And look, another layout. Obviously these two kits I didn't kill, or I didn't even use very much by the looks of what's left, although they were ones that were jam-packed with lots of stuff, lots of ephemera, exclusive ephemera, lots of different embellishments, lots of paper. I also get a paper add-on kit, so of course we get lots of paper when you do that, thickers and all sorts of lovely goodness. So sorting out, I've just got paper there, and then we're going to put the thickers and things up the top here. So you can see we've even got these word ones. So there's still so much there, but it's now looking more manageable. Instead of having two really useful kit boxes separated, we've got a pile of paper. We've got a pile of words and thickers, alphas. We've got a sticker sheet and those heart sticker sheets. A 12 by 12 sticker sheet that I'll pull back in a moment. Actually, I think I do that off screen. And then we have those two little embellishment boxes that are sorted out. And there's the kit. So that looks much more manageable than it did before. So step 3 is to make some DIY embellishments and some Project Life filler cards. This way it uses a lot of your bits and pieces, but also it means that you can quickly lay it onto a layout and have it work so quickly in terms of finishing that layout. So just going through a little bit of the process. Obviously this would be a ginormous video if I showed you the process of making everything that I've got in this video, but I thought if I shared a little bit of each, it would get you a bit more interesting and gives me a bit more time to ramble. So just making an embellishment here. I used some of the stickers, those square stickers from, actually rectangular I think they were, from the I Am Simple Stories sticker pack, and then I cut down some paper to make some Project Life cards. So these are just filler cards. There's a couple with spaces to put a photo or to put some journaling, but most of them are just to pretty up the Project Life page when you get to making your Project Life spread. So pretty simple. This one's pretty cool. I end up using this fabric, this cheesecloth fabric was not part of the kit that Steph had designed on the Kitaholic Kits, but me, I pulled this from my stash obviously when I was making a layout, and a little bit of it was left in the pile, so it went so well together that I kept it in. It wasn't an overwhelming amount, so I actually figured it would go so nicely here if I did a little bit of a concertina fold, and then I put that Always Groovy on top of it to make it a really fun top heavy layout. Now I didn't really want to join two pieces of the fabric together, so I'm just spreading it out better so that it goes over the page rather than being left centered. I wanted it to make it sure that it was centered. So on goes the sticker, and that card is done. So here's some close-ups of the embellishments that I made and the Project Life filler cards that I've made. So you can see there's a range of different ones. Some are using the Project Life, like the paper cut down, some are using some labels, and some are using those little rectangular square stickers from the I Am Simple Stories sticker pack. So some more Project Life cards. Now this means that you can use them, have them sitting on your desk in a pile of Project Life filler cards and embellishments, or you can get straight to using them with this kit. Now for the time being I've still kept them in my kit while I'm working through it to make sure that they're all done, but when I get to the point where I'm like, okay, this kit's killed, there might be a few left that I'll put in my little container that I've got on my pegboard that hangs on my desk. So step 4 is using the groupings of embellishments. So starting with labels, I have decided that I'd make a couple of layouts with the labels. There's so many in the kits that we get each month for Project Life, but we also get some in the main kit. Because I get both of them, then I end up with a lot. And because, I don't know if you've been following along with me, but I haven't done any Project Life in 2018, so I do have a lot of these Project Life themed embellishments left, especially in these kits. So I pulled out all the circles and decided that I would cut some photos in circles, and then I'd use the circular embellishments as well to make this fun layout. So that's a pretty simple way to embellish up a page. There's nothing too tricky going on in there. And then secondly, I use the rectangular. Ooh, it's a thunder. So this one I'm just sorting out the embellishments. I mean, not the embellishments, the labels. And I'm going to use all the rectangular ones down the side here. I just put some double-sided tape and then stick them all down, cut the sides off that are overhanging off the paper, and add any of them that are usable in any of the spots that are needed. Then I add my photo and embellish it up. There's a lot of nice white space in this photo, but it's balanced nicely, I reckon, by having that left-hand labels going down the left-hand side, and then this cluster up the top here on the right-hand side. So here's a close-up of that label layout. And then nextly, we're going to work on groupings of wood veneer. So we get so much wood veneer in some of the collections, in some of the kits. And here's a prime example. There are 2 kits worth of wood veneer that I have left here. And I'm just having a play with how they match together and what I can do. So I move it to the paper and grab a photo, and I can see what I can do. Now that happy wood veneer and those scissors wood veneer make me think of crafting and me being creative. So I pulled out this paper and I cut it into a speech bubble, a thought bubble, and I'm thinking about some good things about myself and having that self-care moment where you think those good thoughts. So that's what that that layout is about. So self-care for the win, i.e. thinking positive thoughts about yourself, which is always another goal for 2019. Lastly, we're going to use, pattern paper. So I'm going to use some of the scraps of paper for layering. Now this is a good way just to get some glue and just stick things together. Before this one I did have a lot of scraps left, so I still am playing before I glue things down. But as the less scraps you have, the more easier it is to just layer and put all these, stick in these little scraps of paper and whatnot to the sides. So you can see I'm just showing you a little bit of the layering process. So you can see that's been cut into, but you can use the ends and not cover up that part so you can't see it. And to make it pop off the page, I decided I'd add some black paint to this scripty writing pattern paper, and then that would be my background. So I added the photo, added a little bit of a cluster, well actually a fairly decent sized cluster, and a title, and then this is a close-up of the layout. So you can see that sometimes when you're in the frame of mind, they can just quickly become a layout without a problem. Nextly, great word. Next, working on paper still. I'm pulling out all these scraps of paper that are not decent sized pieces. So I want to be able to say, okay, these are the scraps. There's a Project Life card here, that butterfly. It's one of the ones that are cut down. Obviously, I thought we didn't, but we must have had some Project Life card size pieces of paper in the kit. So I'm using that as a template to cut down any paper that is big enough to make a 4x6. I don't cut any of them to 3x4 because those ones can be cut down to 3x4 if I want, and I don't want to make that decision yet. But I do then go through my cut aparts, and here I'm using one of those 3x4 templates to cut out that 4x4 into a 3x4 piece. So then I've got some 3x4s, some 4x6s, and then all those filler cards that I've made. So this will come in handy when I move to some Project Life. So the other thing is we are using punches. So this is a good way to use up those scraps of paper as well. So you just keep going with your punches, your layering. Obviously you'd only be able to cut maybe once, maybe you might not even at all be able to cut some Project Life size cards. Keep layering and keep using your punches until you use up all your papers. All those little pieces of scraps is a good way to get through them. So going to work on some layering here. What I've done was use my hole punch to make some circles, and then I've put some hearts up on fun foam that I punched out onto them, and that's my design in the background. So then we're going to layer up my photo and then add it to the paper with some embellishments, and then we're going to work on number 5. Number 5 is Project Life. Project Life is one of those big ones that can use up a lot of your stash. So if you are using some of those filler cards that I made in terms of the DIY filler cards, or you can just use the ones that we cut down out of the paper. Because I've still got some of the 12 by 12 or bigger size paper, you could even cut more if you needed. And just adding embellishments in those little clusters is a fun way to get Project Life documented, but also to use up your stash or this kit as per se. And then what you want to do is then reassess, start all over again. So go back to step 1 and reassess what you have. Then see if there's any things of the steps that you can continue until all your kit's gone. Just keep creating, set yourself a goal, and then hopefully by just going for your goal, you get to kill your kit. So thanks for joining today and watching the video. Leave me a comment down below if you've got any questions, or let us know. Check out our Facebook groups and for Kitaholic Kits, and let us know, or tag us on Instagram so that we can see how you've used these 5 steps and killed your stash or your kits or your collections that are in your stash. So that's it for today. Have a great day. I'll catch you next week. Bye.